Hope I find this thing soon. No matter how many years pass, I'll always hate hunting at midnight. But someone's gotta do it, and we've had enough reports for it to be a serious concern. Most people around here know not to go into the forest at this time of night, though, and so sorts most of it. Only an hour or so left on my patrol, so it isn't too much longer for me at least. What's that off the side in the bushes? Don't let it be another. Praise be to Esdia, they're still alive. That's a start at least. Got a sword here, quite a lot of blood on it too, so either got jumped by a bandit or they had an encounter with our monster. Let's see on the body. Claw marks, a lot of them too, so guess that answers that question for me. Looks like something I can fix up mostly. Should have the stuff for this sort of thing in my pack. Let's see here. Hey, you're finally awake. Stay still, you're right. You look like you got hurt pretty bad though, so just try not to move. It might hurt. I found you a few minutes ago, no more than 15, unconscious but alive, and stayed around to wait until you woke up. So what happened to you? An owlbear? We got a few reports about a monster attack. Nothing specific enough to know what it was, but if it's an owlbear, then that kinda complicates things. We haven't had too many in this forest just outside of town, but the only few times that we have means there's something bigger going on. Something external, bigger creatures moving around in the lands further out, which pushes the owlbears to move, and so a few of them end up here. They're pretty aggressive, and there's not a whole lot of warning before they come out swinging. They don't really have any provocation, they just go for it. I patched up the larger injuries you have, but there's a couple things that I wanted to wait until you're awake to do, so you mind if I get close and try to clean up that handsome face a bit? Just keep still and don't worry, I sort of know what I'm doing. Well, I've been a monster hunter for 15 years. Name's Murig. Been working with the Howler Forge here for that same time. What's your name? And do you live here? Owlbears tend to only really live in the woods. They don't go outside of woods all that much, so perhaps walking in forest in the early hours of the morning isn't the most fantastic idea. They only really leave their dens at night for hunting. What were you doing out here, by the way? Well, did you at least get it done, or did this interrupt your business? Yeah, I can imagine that. By the looks of your sword, though, you gave it a pretty solid go fighting back. Looks like a nice blade, too. The local blacksmiths here are damn good at their job. How do you learn to wield it? Well, it looks like the training paid off. Probably saved your own life fighting back. A lot of people wouldn't have been able to do that, just would have gotten eviscerated instead. The owlbear certainly did a number on your upper and lower body, got a few cuts on your arms and legs, and don't worry, those good looks are still a-okay. But the real danger of an owlbear is the bites, due to some weird venoms in their beaks. I didn't see anything that looks like a bite when I did my first pass over, but let me do another check quickly. Not on here, body is fine. Oh, looks like we have a bite mark on your shoulder. This is less good, a lot less good. Guess I missed it on the first look, it's kinda hidden by your clothing here. Um, well, based on that, there isn't really a whole lot of good news for you here. The venom is called El Veneno Fenusta. getting its name from a kingdom in the very, very far south of this continent. The kingdom live up in the trees, and they create an environment at the base of their trees to try to encourage them to make their dens there, making them sort of act like a natural guard to their treetop kingdom. They're surprisingly intelligent, so some people try to tame them as pets or use them as mounts, like some groups of goblins do. On the plus side, it's really, really slow acting, but on the downside, there isn't a cure for it. It pretty much acts as insurance for owlbears when they're hunting, really. We just don't currently have a cure. Not a lot of people are really researching owlbears all that much. Given the bite mark, it's almost certain that there is some level of venom inside you now. It isn't really possible to tell just how much of it there is. How much of it is in there will determine how long you have left. The fastest recording fatality from El Benolo Fenusta in humans is a couple months, but it depends on how much venom there is. On a lower amount, you could live close to 6 months or even longer. Yeah, it takes a real long time for it to actually affect humans. Most animals succumb to it a lot faster, but can't complain, I guess. So, you have a couple options. I can take you to the infirmary in town and they'll patch you up and you can go back to your day-to-day life and eventually you'll succumb to the venom. Or I can bring you back up to our base in the mountain with the Hallow Forge, and you've already shown you can use a blade, so with a little teaching and training, you'd have no trouble becoming a monster hunter and make some good use of that time you have left, making sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. I understand that's a big offer that I've just come out of nowhere with, but just consider it at least. You can do whatever you want, it's your choice. I'm gonna check around a little further and then come back to at least give you some time to think about things. You can always choose to go back to your life if you come up to the mountain with me anyway, so you always have the freedom to leave. Anyway, I'm gonna go poke around in the nearby area and give you some time to think. So, what do you think? Alright, let's get you up then. Can you walk? Don't worry, I'm here to help you keep upright. Wouldn't do you any good to collapse over. Alright then, let's get moving.